Ladies and gents, and welcome back to DCS World with Mags, and welcome aboard the A-18C. And today we're going to be playing with the new HARM missiles and doing a little bit of a seed mission. So at the moment we are just climbing out from the carrier. We're picking up as much altitude as we can before we hit our turning point and head in on the target. Our target is an airfield on an island just to the north of our current position. The airfield is protected by an SA-11 surface-to-air missile defense system. There are 3 radars that we know of within the zone. The SA-11s are interesting, however, because the launchers themselves are capable of firing without the radar, although the radar does give them a longer range. So the objective is to take out the 3 primary radar installations and then take out the individual launchers with the remaining HARMs. And at this point we've just blown all the fuel in the external tank, doing an afterburner climb to get to 25,000 feet from the carrier before we begin our turn in on the target. So external tanks are now jettisoned. And into the turn to bring ourselves around a target. Alright, that's pretty close. So let's start getting ourselves set up. So I want EWAR on the right hand side MFD, and I'm just setting up countermeasures now. Now as always, I am using a custom countermeasure profile. 2 releases on a 2-second interval, so every single time I hit the countermeasure button I'll drop 1 chaff and 1 flare per 1 second for 2 seconds. Keeps the countermeasures under control. Because the Hornet doesn't have a huge amount of them and you'll burn through them quickly. Anyways, next, Master Arms already on, so air-ground mode. I'm just going to set that back to the HSI. I want that on the left-hand side MFD. And we want stores on the lower MFD. Select HARMs, and that's the missiles ready to fire. As you can see up here on the HUD, we have HARM lit up, but we still want to set up our RWR. Now what I want to do here is select HUD, and what this does is it repeats everything on the RWR on the HUD, so we can use this to actually line the HARMs up. Now if you look closely at the repeat of the RWR on the HUD, as I hit the target select button, there is a box around the report that's switching back and forth between the targets as I'm hitting them. This is the target that the HARMs are currently locked onto, and the HARMs will track down. So at this point we're going to be going for the leftmost target, which should be the first radar installation. So anyways, what are HARMs? The AGM-88 HARM is a high-speed anti-radiation missile designed for taking out hostile radar installations. Rather than tracking infrared or radar emitted from the launching aircraft, the HARM instead locks onto the radar emitted from an enemy ground radar installation and tracks it back to its source. The maximum range of a HARM is around 80 nautical miles when fired from the correct speed and altitude, but today we'll be getting a little bit closer to the target, as it's no fun if you don't have to dodge. Now at this point we're getting pretty close to getting ready to release. Waypoint 2 on the left HSI that we're approaching now is set up to be just outside of the maximum range of the SA-11s when firing with radar assistance. So what we're going to do now is turn on the electronic countermeasures. This will let us get a little bit closer than the maximum launch range. And once we hit the waypoint, we're going to push the throttles all the way to maximum and start accelerating. I want to get out to about 500 knots at over 20,000 feet. This will be around Mach 1.2. This will guarantee that the missile has all the energy it needs to be able to make it to the target, and then we're going to break off and start evading. Alright, we are on target, so throttles through to maximum. Start dipping the nose. We're at 25,000 feet. I want to keep it above 20,000 feet. That's 400 knots. 460. 480. Right, 500 knots. Alright, Magnum. And first missile is away. And just turning back towards the missile boundary, which is indicated by waypoint 2, the edge of the SA-11's maximum range. Once there, we can begin our turn back and get ready for our next release. And missile appears to be on track. And we should be clear of the launches now. And yep, looks like the missile is tracking on the left-hand or the westernmost installation. Boom, one radar down. Okay, we just continue our bank back around. Now, as you heard, I do have a wingman. He has exactly the same loadout as me, so we have 8 harms in between us. Unfortunately, that is not going to be enough to take out the entire installation. There are 3 primary radars in this setup, as well as 2 groups of 4 launchers. So unless we get incredibly lucky and get a couple of multi-kills on the harms, there is going to be, assuming we get all 3 of the radar installations, still 3 launchers active in the zone, but they will be significantly range reduced. And that will send my wingman in to start taking his runs, and we are going to go for one of the middle installations this time. Now, I'm not entirely sure if this will be the radar installation I'm actually looking for, or whether or not this is going to be one of the launchers. Nose down and starting to accelerate again. 410. 440. Oh, picked us up a little bit, or a little bit closer in general this time. And that is a launch. And Magnum. And yep, that's definitely a launch. You can see the smoke trail, so we're going to brake left and up, pick up our altitude. Pop countermeasures through the turn, and that sounds like the wingman's just let off his first couple of shots at the targets. Almost back to the boundary. And it does look like our missile did track the radar installation. That is 2 of the 3 down. So we splash some infantry around that as well. And I think we're clear at this point. And what are we down to? Over 7,000 pounds of fuel, so we're still good for fuel. Alright, so let's bring it around for our next pass, and this time we're going to be going for the installation on the right hand side, or the west side of the runway, and that should be the final radar installation. Looks like they're still firing off SAMs, although from where we are at the moment, they shouldn't be at us. They could be homing in on our wingman. Alright, so once again, throttles forward, picking up speed, nose down. I Yep, we've got the right target selected. And we're locked. They're about to fire. Mach 1.15 and Magnum. Brake right. And at this point you know the drill. And if that one hits the radar installation, that is going to leave them only on short range. God, they're still tracking. Come on. It's better, and that does look good. Alright, so that's all 3 radar installations taken out, and we have 1 harm remaining. So this time we're going to bring it back around, and we're going to fire off our last harm at the launchers themselves. Alright, so RWR is only reporting 1 group of SA-11s. So I'm going to guess at this point, looks like our wingman has been taken out by the SAM, so they were tracking him before, but I'm going to guess he went Magnum with all 4 against 1 of the SA-11 clusters. So this should be the last cluster. There should be 4 SA-11 launchers in it. That is a low fuel master caution, so this is going to be our last pass. Now what we're going to do this time is go Magnum on the SA-11s, so yeah, we're a bit closer this time. Alright, Magnum. And that should go in for the launches, and this time rather than breaking away, we're going to head towards the island and try and get the remaining SA-11s over to air to ammo just in case. There are hostile fighters that should be coming into the area, but I have 2 Tomcats up providing air cover. Alright, now what I'm going to do is come in on the island and try and get those SA-11s to actually fire on me, so they use some of their missiles up before I break away. I'm only going to get 1 pass at this. And yet we can see the left-hand cluster is burning at the moment, so Wingman did take those out, and destruction of 1 launcher. Looks like the other 3 are still intact. Now, hopefully, we'll get a launch on us here in a second. What is that master caution? We have inlet ice. Of course we do, and that's what I was waiting for, and there they are firing. Right, where's the island? 1, 2, possibly 3 launches. Yeah, at least 3 launches. They're trying to relock us up. We broke the first missiles. I'm going to assume that's a second launch. That does look like new smoke trails from the island. And it looks like we're out of range. Alright, so that is pretty much all we can do out here. We've taken out all 3 of the radar installations. We have taken out 5 of the 8 launches. And it looks like in that pass we got them to fire off 2 missiles each. Don't know how many missiles they fired off before, but they only carry 4 missiles each in total. So, worst case scenario, there's 6 missiles remaining on the island. And with that, we go home. Anyways, ladies and gents, I hope you enjoyed the video and thank you very much for watching. As always, remember to check the video description down below for links to all of my social media, my Facebook, my Twitter, where I regularly link my videos as soon as they are uploaded, so it's an easy way to keep yourself updated on what is coming out on my end. I also will occasionally pop screenshots up for what I'm up to, including screenshots of the Tomcat, which is pretty popular at the moment. You'll also find links to my Twitch, where I occasionally stream, and links to my Patreon if you'd like to help directly support the channel. Anyways, once again, thank you very much for watching. If you did like the video, remember to click that like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already and you would like to see more, and until next time, fly smart, fly safe, and I'll catch you in the skies.